Isn't it absolutely crazy that we're in Bulgaria driving to Turkey and then that's Greece?
Over there is Greece. We could have just turned off on the motorway then and would have been in Greece. We're nearly at the border now, so let's just see what this goes. Hopefully it'll be smooth sailing.
The first bit of the Turkish border.
Just leaving the EU in Bulgaria now. Turkey's just ahead, you can just see in the distance. So once we get to that side, we're going to get our insurance green card, and there's like a tag you need for the tolls for the motorways, so we need to sort all that out. Get some Turkish lira. We've got some, but apparently it's not worth a lot now, so we need some more. Turkey! Nearly. Right.
Just coming up to the Turkish border now. Well, passport control. You've just been trying to get the eSIM working, haven't you? Which
it's always a bit of an issue in it to start off.
yeah, it's kind of because you're in a bit of no man's land. It hasn't registered that you're in Turkey, and it connects when you are, but you kind of need it as soon as you get off the other side to get to where you're going, don't you? So we've just come through the Turkish passport control and the customs check. D3 is where you can get your insurance green card. Where Daddy's waiting there with his little piece of paper. So hopefully we'll be able to get the van all sorted.
D535.
That is stunning.
Well, we've arrived in Turkey. The border crossing took a little bit of time. It was a bit confusing, like how to do things, but we're sorted, we're insured, we've got cash. We just need to sort out this ticket now, like a little tag for the motorways, but hopefully we'll sort of be able to sort that out maybe today, and then everything's sorted. This mosque is the biggest one we've seen so far. There's a few behind us. There's one just behind me there, you can probably see. That's a smaller one compared to what we're about to see. And then there's another one over there which is smaller still, but this one is absolutely ginormous. It looks like there is some renovation work going on, but that is absolutely massive and so grand. We've had our first day today. Well, we're having our first day on the beach in Turkey. This little nerd's reading the Turkey book to try and find out where we're going to head. We're just going to try and cover a bit of ground the next couple of days just to get sort of a bit further into the coast and stuff. We're staying in a little parking area tonight, just in like a little seaside town. It's quite quiet at the moment, but it looks like they're just getting ready for the season. One thing we have kind of noticed though is that there's a lack of decent campsites. We found a few, we picked a few, but they're very few and far between, like going on park for night reviews and stuff like that. A lot of them are like sort of being slated for being dirty and unhygienic and stuff, so we're trying to pick the better ones out, but we may or may not like stay on campsites for the majority of this journey in Turkey. We're not so sure yet.
We're on a fancy new bridge, aren't we?
Kanakale Bridge. It's just cost us 850 Turkish lira, which I think is about 16 quid. Seems expensive, but I suppose they've got to pay it. But most of the tour roads in Turkey are like minor fees, like 80 pences, €2, so it's not too bad. But this one's the most expensive, and there's one other bridge near Istanbul, I think, which is €30. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's a big mosque.
You're such a weirdo.
It's supposed to be. So far, we've arrived on our first proper campsite in Turkey, and it's going to have some beating. Going to take some beating straight away. We've come. We've parked up like literally here. This is provided our own little table and chairs and our own little deck. Just over there, like literally 30 metres, is the sea. Placed a little order on the app. There's a QR code you'll see behind me there, and then that gets cooked in the little restaurant area / like shop, and then they bring that to your table. You can order beer, vegetables, fruit. Obviously, us being British, we've just ordered beer and kebabs and chips, so that's it. But yeah, what a spot. We're here for a couple of nights up to now, but we may well extend because we've got 90 days in Turkey now, so we can do as we please. We've covered a bit of ground as well recently, so we can afford to have a bit of time in these places. What's your thoughts on it, Lee?
Amazing. I'm just texting everybody about how amazing it is at the minute. It's just when we drove down like the little thing, because well, we got lost coming here, obviously.
Yeah, the roads was a bit.
Yeah, we ended up in a town back there, and it was a tight drive. But as we drove onto the campsite, it was just amazing. And you drove down and you seen the sea coming, and then the guys popped us in this little bit and made sure our door was to the decking area, and it was amazing. I am absolutely obsessed with chips, and look, proper chips with actual seasoning salt on them.
Kofta kebab, or kofta sandwich, local delicacy. That's alright, is that?
It's not too shabby, is it? It will be an absolute miracle if he gets himself in this water. Or he might just slip in it, but he doesn't do swimming at the best of times, really. Not without snorkel because he gets bored, but actually, he's gonna prove me wrong, isn't he? Possibly. He said he's gonna do the plum test. If the plums can go in, he can go in. We've established he's already done the plum dip, but I won't recording any of it. It don't look warm. I think we could maybe be here a while. This is pressure off YouTube. For all it doesn't look like he's going in particularly fast, this is one of his fastest sort of entries. He probably will edit it so it's like he's donked straight in, but he, yep, no, still stood there. I'm bored now. I'll come back to you when he's in. Oh, it was as though he heard me. I don't know if he can. Oh, there we go.
Just had the first swim of the year. Cold getting in, but we're in Turkey now, so why not? We're going to be doing this every day.
So, sat watching. There's two rugby teams in Hull FC and Hull KR. We are FC fans. KR is currently at Wembley. How are you feeling?
The fans are going to be fucking unbearable. 40 years since they last won a major trophy.
And look,
they're going to do it now.
Look how we're watching it. Sat watching it on a tiny little phone on the van floor.
Does the job.
The sweet sound of the two wheels of hurt. What a team! OKR have won the Challenge Cup in 2025 and pumped the balloon of heartache. Finally!
And they've just won the Challenge Cup. You've got to give it its dues. For all the city's got two teams, there is the rivalry with the East and the West. But
they've been great all year.
yeah, you can't. It means a lot to them, doesn't it?
Draw me sorrows now.
The one thing we have noticed in Turkey, there's a lot of strays, both dogs and cats. They've all got these like little tags in their ears. Some of them even have collars on, weirdly. But this little fella, big fella. They have barbecues going on behind me and I think he's just getting fed. He's snaffling. His little legs look like they're plugged in. Look at this. For a stray. The first use to the little eco boost this trip. To be fair, we have been parked up for 7 days. Not even turned it over, which was a bit of a rookie error. But yeah, let's hope that this does the trick. That's always the sound you want to hear. That's good. It's got us out of some little scrapes as this little thing.
Well, welcome to a very, very hot Turkey. We've come to Bagame. There's an acropolis and like an old city, ancient city up on the hill there, so we're going to go and explore that. You get this little cable car. It's a bit windy today, so it'll be interesting to sort of see quite how that feels in there, but I'll let you know the prices and stuff there in a minute. Well, so we're in the cable car. It is very windy out there, so this could be an interesting sort of 3 minutes. I think it's roughly 3 minutes up to the top where the Acropolis is, and there's like this ancient city. I've just seen a little map actually. It does look like quite a big area, so this should be quite good. But what I might do is view Leah's reaction. We do love a good cable car, don't we?
To be honest, I love cable cars. I think they're really, I don't know, it's just nice, but it's windy.
Yeah, we're quite high up and you can probably see the trees there. It's kind of like quite gusty. So yeah, it's got a bit of a sway on, hasn't it? Yeah, you can see the trees beneath me there with how windy they are. Leah's just swore in the video, but yeah, it's definitely got a proper sway to it. Well, we're both just, you probably hear the wind, we're both just saying we're very surprised that these cable cars are actually allowed to run, because this is pretty bad. I mean, we've been in a few where it's been windy in like Switzerland and places like that, but generally,
it's the big gondola. God, it's giving me butterflies.
They're the big gondolas, whereas these are just a little sort of standard cable cars. Pretty much went to Heights of Abraham in Derbyshire last year or whatever, and it was like same size but not as windy.
This can't be allowed.
I've got to admit, this doesn't feel safe. Like it feels like it probably shouldn't be going. I feel like health and safety in Turkey is probably a lot less than it is elsewhere. I mean, we're now nearly there now. We've got the last bit to go, but depending on how we feel, even though we've paid a lot of money for this, we might end up walking back down if there's a path, possibly. I don't know if it'll appreciate kind of how much it's rocking there, but you can sort of see the bit of the swell here is not very...
This isn't right. This isn't right.
It is bad when them gusts get up. It's really, really sort of nervy, but you can see how windy it is sort of on the trees. So as I mentioned, I'm going to tell you the prices. The cable car was actually almost as expensive as the museum. The cable car came at 1,400 Turkish lira, which is about 26 quid, so 13 quid each. Return, 3 minutes of windy sort of winding, and then the access just down there at the actual Acropolis entrance was 15 euros per person, so round it up, 30 euros per person today. We're going to go to Ephesus tomorrow, which is 33 euros, but that is one of the bigger ones, probably a bit more spectacular than this one, but this is meant to be really good. So I've just been reading a little bit of information on one of the plaques, and building on this area started in 200 BC, so it's like 2,200 and something years ago. It is nice. I mean, not on the cable car it wasn't so nice, but the area up here is keeping it a bit cooler with a breeze because it's like 31 degrees at the moment. So it's pretty impressive. So we've been to a few of these like remains of like Romans and Greek and stuff, but this is probably one of the better sort of preserved we've seen so far. Like down here was all still intact. In here, like the arches, you can still see the original wall behind me and the ceilings. Really impressive. Gonna go have a little look around and find some like viewpoints of the theatre because that looks real spectacular, but that's kind of on the mountainside. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Now for me, the theatre behind me is the most impressive part of this so far. So that was used to seat 10,000 people when they had like theatres and shows going on in the bottom. But that looks really, really good from here. That's kind of what led me to want to come and see it when I'd seen this online.
Oh, what? Oh, that's right, isn't it?
Has that got your approval, Leah? Yeah. That's the first, isn't it? You don't normally approve a lot of things, do you? But this is very good. The little temple behind me there's really sort of... I've just got to watch the path anyway because the path's real dodgy. There's holes in the floor, but the little temple behind me is still quite well intact. So we're going to go have a little look at that. But that looks really good considering how high it is on like this vantage point with this wind. It's done well to stand for like 2,000 years. Right, we're expecting some wind again on this cable car, so...
I could have walked on, but I'm Yorkshire, I'm tight, I'm getting my money's worth.
41 minute walk or 3 to 4 minutes of terror, so we will see. Plenty of people coming up and going down, so we will see. You'll know when it gets windy. You'll probably hear it as well. No, Pergamon Ancient City was lovely. I would advise not coming up the cable car. There is a higher car park, which you can just see there. There is a fee for it, I'm not sure how much it is, but we just got stung for 26 quid for one. This will be the win then.
That'll be the win then.
That'll be the win then. Oh, it's a nice breeze though. Probably see, I'll put this on the seat so you'll get an idea of how much we're sort of swaying. But yeah, it's not nice feeling, I won't lie. Historically, it's always been meals, not like cable cars, gondolas or anything like that. I seem to have got a bit better. This is not nice, it's not comfortable, it's just a bit scary, but it must be relatively safe because I don't think they'd run them otherwise. They don't have sensors and stuff, but you can probably hear the wind, it is pretty bad. At least the cables to car station is just in front of us now, so we've got another couple of 100 metres to go, and then we should get out of it, and then we're going to get to the van and plan where we're going to stay tonight, because as always we haven't got a clue where we're going to go. We just know we're heading towards Ephesus, Ancient City, which is another one of these but on a lot bigger scale, so that might be the next couple of days. I think the wind makes it worse.
Of course it makes it worse, it's the thing that's making
No,
me
the
feel
sound.
like I'm on a knacking pendulum.
The sound.
I'm like one of them bobs, do you know when you're decorating?
A plumb bob.
A plumb bob. I'm essentially a metal floating plumb bob.
Plumb knob.
I look like a fucking plum.
Well, the end's nearly in sight, thank fuck. It's not been a comfortable journey. You can probably hear, as I keep saying, you can hear the wind, but I think that makes it even worse. Mind you, that was a big wobble.
It's like it stops you. It's stopping you. It's like the cable. It's like the wind stopping you moving.
Yeah.
Horrible.
There's a sway on it though, isn't there?
Hate it.
Is that it now? No more cable cars in Switzerland?
Oh no, I ain't letting it put off because I genuinely do enjoy them. Just not this one.
Apart from this one. Leah's also not a fan of lifts. If you've seen the Budapest video, she went up about 7 flights of stairs because she didn't want to go in a lift, albeit a tiny, tiny little.
It was like some out of that horror movie.
Well, we're back, we're done. Right, so we're in a new campsite in a new place in Turkey. I'm not even going to attempt to butcher the name, but all I know is it's right on the coast. Been a hot day again. We had a little issue with the van earlier, which I'll also address later on, where a tree and the van collided and it didn't really make a lot of well, the van came off way, so let's put it that way. So I'll show you some footage of that, but we're off out for some food now. It's about 6:30. It's just starting to cool down. This is the marina area of where we're staying. There's a lot of cruise liners coming in. We've seen one from Tui and we've seen this one which has just come in. The Tui one must have gone out earlier, but it's a lovely little beach area, very resorty, which is not what we normally do, but thought while we're in Turkey for 3 months we're going to have to do some of this. But yeah, the resort goes right around that way, all the way to, like, you might see the castle on the hill in the distance, so we're going to head there at some point. But yeah, it's mega hot, mega dry, what we came for really. So we're staying in a place called Kusadasi. Quite a few Brits here actually, not far from Izmir airport. We're going to have a little walk along the bay today. There's a little castle like on an island just out there, about half an hour walk, so we're going to go and explore that today. There's a big cruise liner to see. I think it's Royal Caribbean in the bay as well. That's brought a few hundred people. So that's the big Royal Caribbean I've just seen. There's another one just coming in as well, so there's 2 docking today. So just behind that sailboat, just behind that ship is where the island is with the castle on. But yeah, this has been like our local little beach. One thing we'll sort of say with Kusadasi is, well, it's one place. Like, we wouldn't normally come to places like this where it's like a proper resort. On a night it seems to come to life. We came out about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night and had a pizza and a pint. Prices were similar to Britain, to be honest. I have heard it's got a bit more expensive in Turkey, but again, it's kind of, while we're in this area we'll do it. But yeah, it's been nice to sort of hear British and see lit up on a night. It's not our cup of tea because we're old now, but Leah said last night actually about how she'd like to sort of just go back to the van and have a drink and just sort of relax on the site. But I mean, this is lovely. I mean, the views are blocked by that, but yeah, it is. It's really nice. We're going to go in the sea a bit later on anyway, so cool down a bit. So in the centre of Kusadasi, there's this little sculpture park, all like shells and weird babies and stuff like that. These little kiosks behind me are all like midye dolma, which is basically stuffed mussels, which is like a famous Turkish street food. It's stuffed with like a rice and vegetables. I'm going to try that at some point along the coast, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, it's quite good actually. So you can see how sort of touristic it is just behind us and places. But yeah, it's nice. As we've got closer to where all the big ships are sort of disembarking, this is like, over there is a main bazaar. The castle's just out of view. There's like a little sculpture here of Mustafa Mehmet Ataturk, who was like the founder of the Republic of Turkey as we know it now. I was actually speaking to a Turkish lady the other day and she was saying about how like well respected Ataturk is. Everything's named after him, national stadiums, boulevards, everything's named after him, and it is actually illegal to insult him or the Turkish flag, and it can carry a jail sentence. Everybody said how highly regarded he is. No matter where you go, there's pictures of him, there's the Turkish flag everywhere. It's like a really patriotic thing, and why not? But apparently he did so much for women's rights and equality and stuff. He's classed as like the founding father of what we know now, sort of overtaking the Ottoman Empire. The bit we're heading to now is like where the cruise liners dock, and a lot of restaurants and bars through there. Excuse me. There's a seafood market, a lot of fresh fish restaurants which I've yet to try, but we're going to go have a little look through there, try and get some footage without getting coaxed in. To be honest, the people in the restaurants haven't been too bad. It's just been like, hello, would you like to eat with us? And if you say no, they just leave you alone. So I'm quite happy about that. That was a bit of a concern at one point that you're just going to get bothered. It does. I know, thank you. The fish market. So that's the fish market in there. You can see loads of bits of like squid and octopus and stuff. It's a lot quieter by daytime though. Like I said, the other night this was absolutely even. Still pretty busy now, but this is mainly all fish restaurants. There's a kebab place at the end there. I had a doner the other day actually, very nice. So we've just passed the entrance to the main port now where all the ferries are. I think you use your boarding pass and that just to get on and off the ferries and you can explore. There's this little park area now, that's our aim over there, just the castle in the distance. I think it's a couple of 100 lira and that's about it. Like just this area now we're heading towards the museum stroke castle. It's just sort of showing you all of the tours you can do. 9:30 till 4:30, sunset. €4 for a sunset cruise, 1 hour sunset cruise, it's not too bad. Someone does the 3 different bay tours, so they're all different sort of things like there. 150 Turkish lira for a 1 hour boat trip, departs at 5. So it's sort of just taking you around some of the coves and the bays. We did say we'd maybe have a look at a boat trip on the way up maybe. Maritime Trade History Museum, the castle. So we've just been having a look at the Trade Museum behind us. Went to see the prices, it's 50 Turkish lira for a Turkish citizen, which is £1. Foreign visitors, €10 each. So we're not going to bother. That for me just feels like quite a bit so far we've experienced in Turkey where they're really capitalising on like the foreign money coming in. €10 is way too much for that, so we won't bother. We've just seen a couple of boat trips as I just mentioned, like €4 each for an hour trip at sunset. We'll probably do one of them and still have change in our pocket. I mean, got to make it reasonable. At the end of the day, it's a nice castle, but it looks like it's relatively new and it looks like it's been built specifically for this purpose. But yeah, €10 is, no, we're not going to pay that. Well, €20 in fact for the pair of us, so we're not going to bother. She just found a little cat. Cats are everywhere. Found a mate again, Lee.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. Is it alive? Oh yeah, is this alive there? I've got video evidence. I may live to regret this decision, but we're going to go have a little look in the Grand Bazaar and have a little look what's in there, see what there is. I wouldn't mind a couple of football shirts. I'm loving that sign, I'm just saying, genuine fake watches. Now, is that the biggest contradiction you've ever seen in your life? To be honest, for a bazaar, this isn't too bad. There's like a couple more fake watches, there's little bits down here saying sports shirts and stuff, but yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. Well, this bazaar area goes on for ages. There's like a big mosque there. The bazaar goes on behind me, but yeah, it's certainly a big area. You get all your bits you need. It's a bit more expensive than you'd find elsewhere, but you'd kind of expect in a tourist spot. Oh, he's battering you.
What are you doing? What are you doing, you monkey?
What are you doing over there? So this is our final night in Kusadasi. We're just going to go out and see like a big cruise ship leave now. It's one of the Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas, I think. It's absolutely ginormous, so we're going to go take a few pictures and stuff like that. We can go have a few beers, and we met a British bloke earlier who I think we're going to meet up with tonight and have a little bit of a chat. So yeah, that'd be nice. So as we were saying, that's the Odyssey of the Seas, the big Royal Caribbean. We're going to wait and see. It's about 10 minutes before it leaves, but that's the biggest cruise ship we've seen here. I think that's probably about as big as you'll get, but we're going to meet the British guy, a kid called Steve, who we met earlier. He's going to come out and probably going to have a couple of beers with him and a little bit of a chat. We had a good hour or so chatting earlier, so that was nice to meet him.